Are you making money with Doordash? Do you feel like Doordash is taking advantage of you?
I got you, homie.
Would you deliver to 2 customers for $2? Don't order ice cream from 10 miles away. Does 100% of your earnings come from the Doordash platform?
Really, nigga?
Customers who order from 10 miles away need help. Why are hand-to-me customers not there when we arrive with the order? Are you tired of being manipulated by an algorithm?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Doordash is a lose, lose, lose. What do you mean? Let's explain. Before we get into it though, hit that like button and that subscribe button, especially if you're a Doordash driver. When you think about Doordash, you think about food delivery to your door, convenient, for the lowest price. And therein lies the problem. Doordash's business model is not working, and it has not been working. Right now, we have customers ordering, and at an all-time high of tips being at their lowest, which means drivers are earning less than they ever have. And on top of that, we have more drivers on the Doordash platform than ever. So what does that mean for you, the everyday full-time driver trying to make your money? Well, it's bad news because Doordash is not the same. No longer are the days where you can go out and see reasonable offers, right? No longer are the days where you can go out and not see orders that you would have to lose on that deal. And what I mean by that is we see upside down offers, we see programs, we see things that make it harder for you to hit your goal. So let me know, this year, 2024, have you been hitting your goals with the Doordash platform? What are your goals with the Doordash platform, and how are you managing these, treacherous waters that we dealing with when it comes to the platform and the changes and the lowering of the pay? Because in my opinion, Doordash is dead. Doordash is trash. Now, there's a caveat. There are going to be a few select situations or select drivers in select markets that have it on lock and they're going to be able to survive. But for the masses, for the average driver, you will be seeing $2 orders until the end of time. You will be seeing long distance deliveries with payouts that don't quite match up. So Doordash is a lose, lose, lose. It's a lose for Doordash investors. It's a lose for the customer overall. And it's a lose for the driver. Start with the investors. They still haven't even turned a profit as a company. Every single person, investor, big or small, who has put any money into the Doordash platform, they have yet to see a return on investment. Number 2, the customers. The customer overall is being less and less satisfied with the way the Doordash platform is operating and the fees. We can just look to Seattle and see that even when Doordash tries to do something to combat the upcharging and fees and certain regulations, it still ends up having negative customer sentiment. They have seen a decrease in orders in Seattle, and it's due to the regulation for minimum pay. That's a topic for another video, but the point is customer sentiment is at an all-time low, and they're not willing to pay more if they're not getting what they want for the price they're paying for it. And that leads into my next point. We need to talk about the drivers. 9 out of 10 drivers, according to Doordash, work less than 4 hours a week. And we just know that that's not true right there, because most of the drivers that's out there actually doing most of these deliveries, they are putting in 20 to 30 hours per week, if not a full-time amount of hours. Sometimes even as high as 60 hours. So the issue ain't that drivers is only working 4 to 5 hours a week. That's not the issue why they're not making money. Doordash would have you believe that drivers are not working that many hours, meaning that they're not going to be earning that much, but that's not the case. Drivers are out here working these hours, but the pay has steadily been decreased, and the amount of things that Doordash want done for that payment is becoming more and more and more. And you only get so much time in one day. Everybody has 60 minutes in every single hour. So if the things that Doordash wants you to earn your money for said order increase, it's gonna start to decrease the amount of orders you're able to do per hour. There is a way where you can make yourself a winner in the equation. Specifically, I'm talking to you drivers. How do you make yourself a winner in this chaotic storm of food delivery and gig apps? Well, you got to use more than just Doordash. Doordash has about 70% market share when it comes to food delivery, but you can still multi-app and diversify so that you're not so dependent on Doordash, because year over year, you will make less with the Doordash platform. The average driver, you will make less money year over year doing this type of work. The pay does not increase, and the companies are not in a position where they have a good structure to pay you more for what you are doing. So just understand and take this with a grain of salt. Get out there, get your opportunities, make your money, but still be working on something in the background so that when that day does come, that these companies are asking you to do the absolute most for the bare minimum, $6.75 for 10.8 miles. That's crazy. That's absolutely ludicrous mileage right there. So when a customer orders from 10.8 miles away, that actually means that you're going to end up driving a 20-mile round trip, because there's no guarantee that you're going to get another order once you get out there. And even if you did, you still are losing. So DoorDash is winning because they get their delivery fee, they get their service fee. The customer, yes, they might have paid those additional fees, but they still stiffen the driver. And customers need to understand there's three parts to this equation. There's the DoorDash getting their money, customer getting their food, and the driver getting their tip. And if you understand that DoorDash customers don't have a lot of money, I get that. Or if you understand that DoorDash don't pay drivers a lot of money, I get that too. But if you broke, you should not be ordering. No, I wish it was $10. We got $5 for 10.4 miles. This customer is a little bit down the highway, which makes it a little bit better. But again, the same things that made the last order bad makes this one bad as well. This one is a Chick-fil-A order. So it's probably a situation where the customer only could order from this specific location, but still though, there should never be orders where the driver is taking the short stick and losing on the equation. If DoorDash wants to facilitate an order to a customer that happens to be 10 miles away, DoorDash should either pay the dasher more, or they should make it a situation where if that order is facilitated, some way, somehow, the dasher is compensated fairly. Because $5 for 10 miles is not a fair compensation. But DoorDash still get their $10 in service and delivery fee, and the customer still get their food. This next one is what we call an add-on order. It's when you already on a DoorDash delivery and they send you an additional delivery at either a merchant that you already located at or a close by merchant that will be leading in the same direction as far as customer drop-off. And in this particular scenario, we got a $2 add-on going an additional 2.6 miles. So it's very important that you understand that the original mileage on the original offer needs to be estimated when calculating these additional miles, because it's already bad enough that you're only getting $2 in base pay, meaning that this additional customer is not giving you any additional money. Only DoorDash is giving you an additional $2. And you need to take into consideration the full mileage. So let's just say that the first order was a 3-mile order. Well, now you have 3 miles plus an additional 2.6 for only $2 extra. And I know some folks may say, well, hey, it's $2 extra, you already there. No, this is where drivers are being taken advantage of in orders that otherwise would not be able to be facilitated on their own or getting delivered. Each one of these examples have had something in common, and that's the fact that the mileage is more than the payout. And that's becoming a big problem here in 2024 when it comes to the types of orders we see, especially when you're trying to increase your acceptance rate to do what DoorDash wants. But the problem is DoorDash will not admit that there's a imbalance. We have more customers who are, not good at managing their money, and quite frankly, they broke. We have too many of those customers and not enough customers that actually understand how this whole equation works and can afford to use this platform. We got a customer right here who may have left a $3 tip, or this may be a no tip and it may have been declined a lot of times. But either way, it's still not a good order for a driver. That's going to be a 15-mile round trip for a $5 bill. And even if you was able to complete that 3 times in an hour, which safely you're not, because that's 6 places you got to go, that's still not enough money. $15 to drive your vehicle around town and risk getting into a crash, I wouldn't advise it. So, these are the types of orders that you're going to see if you are below 50% and you're trying to raise your acceptance rate up to that 70% mark that you need it to be in order to see the high paying offers or have any of the perks of any of the programs that might be available. These are going to be some of the things you encounter that's going to hinder you and prevent you from getting into those better programs and seeing those good offers. Next up, we got one $3.75 for 4.6 miles. Another pizza order at Little Caesars. Now, if you've been seeing orders with payouts similar to this, let me know in the comments below, because this is becoming the norm here on DoorDash in 2024. It's actually, so for the month of May, $258.93 for the first week. Week number 2, $91.11. Week number 3, let me get my screen recording going. Week number 3, $226.38. Week number 4, $134.87. And now we are in the first week of June and only got $12.87. You can't survive on this kind of money as a DoorDash driver. Let me know what your experience has been just, in the month of May with DoorDash, because for me, this is why I give them less and less of my time, because even when I do give them some of my time, it's starting to become more and more not worth it. Now, let's just go ahead and look at my ratings real quick. Now, as you can see here, I'm at a 4.83 customer rating, 33% on the acceptance rate, 93% on the completion rate. Twice last week and in the previous week, I was trying to raise my acceptance rate with DoorDash. And what I was doing is I was using earn by time and earn by offer, depending on what time of day I was working. And what I came to find out is the higher my acceptance rate get, the closer I get to being deactivated on the platform. Because either I fall in situations where I'm dealing with customers that give you a higher chance of deactivation because they lie or they file a complaint or whatever, or they have difficult instructions, or on the flip side, I'm just either running into more issues at the merchant, picking up these orders that nobody else wants. So when it all boils down, it's basically a scenario where if you don't deliver to the worst of the worst customers, you have no chance of even seeing the good customers. I was at a 47% 2 weeks ago, and just working one weekend, trying to just make some money without worrying about my acceptance rate, I was able to get back to 93% completion rate, but my acceptance rate took a hit because I was declining orders that wasn't profitable. Now, my customer rating went up a little bit, but honestly, from the 4.96 that I had, that little 1% bump is not much because I'm still sitting at a 4.83, and raising my acceptance rate from a 13% to 50% the first time cost me like, a whole bunch of points on my customer rating. And I just don't think it's worth it. If you're raising your acceptance rate, but it's costing you your customer rating points and percentages, and it's costing you your completion rate points and percentages, you're going to end up losing in the long run, because if you get your acceptance rate all the way up, but your other two ratings are down, that's not really a good trade-off. And you may end up putting yourself in a position where you're more likely to be deactivated. So I said, you know what? I can't worry about raising my acceptance rate and putting myself in that position. I still schedule myself out for the whole week. For tonight, I only got 10:30 to 11 p.m. For tomorrow, I got 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Sunday, we got 10:30 to 11 a.m., 6 to 8:30 p.m. Not a whole lot of time on the schedule. DoorDash in a lot of markets is becoming harder and harder and harder to even preemptively schedule yourself to give yourself the best shot to get orders. That's even getting harder. A lot of my dashers up in New York are telling me that even when you check the schedule right at midnight, if you don't get on there and you may have about 30 minutes after the clock struck midnight to get yourself on the schedule, or you pretty much have no chance at all. But I'm going to see what I can do. I do have a dash scheduled for later on today, so we're going to go out and see if we can make a few dollars.